Smith, Alexander, Michael Physioli. 9th of August 1996. Bruce Rock, General Medical Hospital, Western Australia. 9th of August 1996. This is my report, my expose, my ground shattering dirt that I have gathered over 20 years. Strap yourselves in. When I was at the simple age of 5, I had my entire future ripped away from me. You see, Granddaddy, on stepdad's side, was a military man that started grooming me for that career at a young age. Grooming me for a career that I would have gladly taken because, well, I am mentally, well, an engineer. After being shown from an indigenous man how to reduce kangaroo shit down to a lump of iron to make a fucking axe, yeah, all the construction makes sense to me. You got a problem with that? So I would have made a brilliant combat engineer, wouldn't I? See, the problem is, in Australia, unlike elsewhere in the world, if you were on drugs in your schooling days, you're pretty much permanently barred from military service. But, this is just the beginning. This is just the backstory that leads to the ultimate foot in mouth of the Australian government. Ritalin and dexamphetamine at the age of 5. Lower grade forms of street meth. The same street meth that my mother and her entire compatriot of criminal companions went to jail for. Should have been the first major red flag. Why you put my son on amphetamines? I went to jail for that shit, but whatever. So, at the age of 5, Ritalin and amphetamines. When that didn't have the desired result, they flipped the script and said I was autistic and put me on fucking Risperidone. And then after Risperidone, they put me on Olanzapine and started saying I was schizophrenic and bipolar and all this other bullshit. Needless to say, when age of enlistment comes up, military doesn't want one fucking bar of me. So instead, I go back to my civilian ballet of a martial art, which is Taekwondo. And well, I shattered my fucking knee, get put back together. Run into some legal issues down the line, trying to find some less than legitimate but still legitimate employment. Walked across the Kimberleys and Simpson Desert to Broome, got served restraining order papers, caught the plane more or less home, attended court over the phone, the restraining order remained in place, moved in with the son of the plaintiff, who said that she wasn't welcome there. She shows up one day, and I end up in the Silver Shackles. So I walked across the fucking Nullarbor, flipped a coin in my head, either went to Tassie or to Sydney. Coin fucked me over, told me to go to Tassie. Went to Tassie, ran a ring around that little island, and found myself in a little shithole where the river runs red, called Queenstown. Local conspiracy theorist interrogates me about my outfit and tells me his own personal yarn about Port Arthur. I meet a couple of sovereign citizens and they go up to Bernie, take their kid to a dentist. I go upstairs because I see they have a psychological fucking department. I ask for a naval chaplain because civilian doctors takes too long to explain to them my personality and mindset. I wanted someone with experience. That plus the conversation with the conspiracy theorist was enough to pin me and to lock me up for 6 months and drug me against my will. I believe that was paliperidone for 6 months. Until I found out that I could leave Tasmania legally. They couldn't touch me as long as I jumped another state afterwards. So I did not contact them until I was in the Blue Mountains. I spent a year there, if you know what I mean, and finally got back on the horse of martial arts when those sovereign citizens decided to reconnect and invited me for a road trip to Townsville, Queensland. That is where I've resided for the last 3 years. I have been institutionalized in Townsville as well. Had a spiritual moment whilst homeless, yelling at God, demanding that He give me a rifle so that I can fulfill my biological purpose, that I can go and save the fucking world. 68 days later, and a year's worth of community interaction, they thought I wasn't paying attention to everything they fucking did. They put me in a juvenile ward with female fucking patients. I know how to fight. Some might call me a professional. The only male orderly in that entire place the whole time I was there was 2 weight classes below my weight range. So if that's not enough to outrage you, think about this. Over the last 25 years, I have been educated, self-educating, and trained for one specific role that I cannot fulfill in my own country. Despite the fact that we recruit all the way up until the age of 50. I'm too old to join now in the United States, having gone past the 26 age mark. On my own, fault that I didn't, keep my passport updated and fucking fuck off to America at 18. I could have actually done it over there because the drugs wouldn't have mattered there, but they apparently did here. I'm getting to the stage where I'm too old to do it for jolly old England. So, what's next? There's an entire generation of people that were fucked over the same way. And look at the industry that Australia used to have that we now no longer. What's the point of being an engineer in Australia? We got nothing to build our proof of concepts with locally. There's my report.